So we'll go ahead and start finding, as always, our comfortable seated mountain. So sitting upright, but not uncomfortably, grounding through the feet, the hips, and the chair. And then once you've found a comfortable position, letting the eyes soften or close. Begin to bring the focus inwards to the breath, moving in and out through the nose. Just taking a few minutes to let go of anything that may have happened earlier today or anything that's about to happen later. And just being here in this moment. And as we sit here, just taking a moment to notice what's going on in your body today. Are you feeling any sensations, aches, pains? We don't need to try to change any of this, just observing and sending a little kindness to those areas. And then also taking a moment to notice any emotions or feelings that may be coming up for you. And in the same way, not trying to change them, but just embracing them. Then we'll take a few rounds of 3-part breath. So you may want to bring one hand to the belly and then one hand over the heart. And we'll breathe in, expanding the belly, sliding up the rib cage, and then filling the space around your heart. And then exhaling fully, letting it all out. It's relaxing breathing practice. And take a few more breaths like that. Breathing all the way in through the belly, rib cage, and chest. And then exhaling completely. Even drawing the navel towards the spine. And just a couple more like that. And then returning once again to the natural rhythm of your breath, just however it's flowing today. And just maybe bringing your bottom hand, the hand that's on your belly, up to rest over the hand that's on your heart. And taking a few breaths here, breathing some kindness into your body. And maybe setting an intention, something you'd like to focus on today. And then whenever you're ready, you can release the hands, maybe resting back down on your thighs, and let the eyes flutter back open. And so we'll begin again today with our head and neck movement. So taking an inhale in the center, and then exhale, looking over the right shoulder. Inhaling back through center, and then exhale, looking to the left. And just flowing back and forth like that, letting your breath guide your movements. Starting to warm up the neck. Then coming back to center. And we'll begin to shift the gaze up on the inhale. And then on the exhale, drawing the chin towards the chest. And flowing again back and forth on the breath. And the next time your chin comes down, we'll begin to roll the head from shoulder to shoulder, just some half circles. And then if it feels okay in your neck, feel free to circle all the way around, making sure to go back in the other direction. And then bringing the head back to center when you're ready. So we'll tilt the head now towards the right ear. So the right ear comes towards the right shoulder, sorry. And then if it's comfortable, maybe cradling the head with the hand and maybe letting the left arm hang down, stretching the side of the neck. And breathing into that stretch, that openness. And then if it's comfortable, maybe shifting the gaze, shifting the chin towards your underarm. So just stretching the neck a little bit different direction. And taking just a couple of breaths here. And then when you're ready, releasing the arm, bringing the head back to center. And then switching sides, so dropping the left ear towards the left shoulder. And then maybe cradling the head, maybe letting the right arm hang. Noticing any differences between the sides. And breathing fully in this position. And then shifting the chin towards your armpit. And breathing here. And then when you're ready, releasing. Back to center. We'll begin, the arms can either be hanging down by your sides or resting on your thighs, whichever feels good. And we'll just start to gently roll the shoulders backwards. Maybe aligning your movements once again with your breath, however it fits. And then rolling them forward. And then releasing. We're sending the arms out to a T position with the palms facing forward. And we'll just flip the palms back and forth. So we're engaging still the shoulders and the arms, building a little bit of strength. And just playing with the range of motion. Maybe you can flip your palms a little bit farther. And we'll bring the fingertips to the tips of your shoulders, and we'll just paddle out the shoulders like you're rowing a boat. And then back in the other direction. And then releasing the arms back down by your side. And so we'll come into our little arm flow. So with the arms hanging down by your sides, you'll flip the palms forward. I have a yoga partner today. And on the inhale, we'll lift the arms up, starting with halfway. And we'll flip the palms, floating the arms back down. And now we'll come out to the side. So flipping the palms out to the sides, lifting the arms up, and then flipping the palms down, and exhale, bringing the arms down. And so we'll flow back and forth through that motion. And again, feeling free to play with the range of motion. If you feel like you want to lift your arms higher, you can do that. We'll do that just a couple more times. And we'll do this just once more forward and once more to the sides. And then letting the arms float all the way back down. And now bending at the elbows, bringing your palms up. We'll take an inhale here, and then as you exhale, we'll push the palms forward, so spreading the fingers wide. And then inhale, turning the palms, making fists, and pulling the arms back in towards your body. And so exhaling to push the hands out, and then inhaling, drawing fists back in. And moving through this just a few times, stretching out those fingers as you press the hands forward. So let's do this just once more, pushing out. Inhaling to pull the arms back in, and then releasing the hands. And so we'll come into our seated eagle. So we're a little bit forward in the chair and crossing, crossing the left leg over the right. Then we'll bring the arms out wide. And then giving ourselves a bear hug. Crossing, sorry, I always do this wrong. Crossing the opposite arm over. So whichever leg is on top, sorry, I do this wrong every time. Whichever leg is on top, that arm is underneath. And then you can stay in this bear hug, and it doesn't really matter as long as we do it both sides. So you can stay in this bear hug, or maybe moving into the eagle arms. So winding the arms around, working the palms towards each other, opening up the back body, the upper back. And breathing deeply here, and maybe thinking about Just gently engaging the core as well, supporting the spine and holding you upright. And maybe picking a spot out in front of you to focus on. And then when you're ready, unwinding the arms, releasing them. And then keeping the legs crossed, we'll do a seated twist. So bringing the right hand to the left leg, and we'll twist towards the left. Or if I've confused you with the sides, whichever side that the leg is crossed. And then unwinding from the twist, uncrossing the legs. And then we'll clasp the hands behind the back and just gently arch the spine and open the chest. Maybe slightly lifting the chin, lifting the gaze, and just taking a couple breaths like this. And then when you're ready, releasing. And we'll cross the opposite leg over. So I'm crossing my right leg over. And we'll send the arms out to a T. And then this time we'll give ourselves a bear hug, crossing the right arm under or the opposite arm under. And feel free to move into those eagle arms on this side, working those palms towards each other. Once again, thinking about having a strong core to support the rest of your body, and maybe picking a focal point to rest your gaze while we breathe here. And so beginning to unwind the arms, and we'll come into that twist on the other side. So bringing opposite hand to the knee that's crossed, and then twisting to the side and breathing into the twist. And untwisting, coming back to center and uncrossing the legs. And this time we'll bring the hands behind and clasp opposite elbows or opposite forearms. So just so you can see what I'm doing. And we'll just let those arms hang down behind you. And so the chest is open to the front. Feeling maybe a light stretch in the shoulders. And just taking a few breaths here. And then when you're ready, releasing the arms. And so bringing the right arm either grabbing onto the chair or onto the hip. On your next inhale, lifting the left arm, and we'll take a side bend to the right on the exhale. And then inhaling back up. And then flowing in and out of the side bend. then if it feels good, maybe holding the stretch to the side. Feeling the stretch down the left side of your body. And then inhaling back up. And exhaling, releasing the arms down. We'll switch sides, so bringing the opposite arm to your hip. Inhaling up with the right arm, and exhale, bending over to the left. And flowing in and out. And then if it feels okay, maybe holding the stretch over to the side, feeling that same stretch and openness on the right side of the body this time. And on your next inhale, rising back up, and then exhale, releasing the arm. Bringing the hands to rest on the thighs and scooting just a little forward in the chair if you're not there already. We'll do some cat and cow stretches. So taking an inhale here in the center, and then as you exhale, sliding the hands forward as you round the spine towards the back of the chair. The chin might come towards the chest. And we'll inhale, sliding the hands back towards the body and opening the chest, lifting the gaze. And we'll move back and forth through our cat and cow, just using your own breath to set your pace. And we'll do that once more, coming into the cat, and then cow, and then returning back to a neutral spine. So now moving down into the legs, I'm going to scoot my chair back a little so maybe you can see my legs a little bit better. So the hands can either be on the hips or down, grabbing the chair, whichever gives you more of a feeling of stability. And we're just going to extend and bend the right leg a few times. So it's up to you how much or how little you lift the leg off the floor. Maybe a little challenge to your core strength to see if you can lift it a little higher, but that's not necessary. And then the next time the leg is extended, we'll hold it there and just point and flex the foot a few times. Then roll the ankle in one direction and then back in the other direction. And letting go of the movement, keeping the leg extended, taking any breaks if you need. And then maybe extending the left arm out in front of you. And maybe extending the right arm out in front of you as well. So modified chair pose in the chair. So the core is engaged here, helping to hold you upright. And one more inhale here. And then we'll exhale, releasing the arms and the leg. And then we'll walk the left foot, or the right foot, sorry, just out and in, the heel toeing the foot in and out. And then the next time your right foot is out, we'll come up onto the ball of the foot. So the heel comes up off the floor, and then just let the knee fall in and back out. So we're working into the hips here as well. And then letting that heel come back down and walking the foot back in, about hip distance apart. And so we'll repeat that little leg flow on the left side now. And so we'll begin just extending and then bending that left leg. So letting your own body be your guide as to how high. For some reason, I can lift this leg a little higher than the other. Don't know why. Sometimes that's just how it is. And the next time the leg extends, holding it extended and pointing and flexing the foot. And then rolling the ankle. And rolling it back in the other direction. And then with the leg extended out in front, maybe taking those arm options. So starting with the right arm, and then maybe adding the left arm, and just holding here, feeling strong and stable in this chair pose in the chair. And you can always touch down with the foot if you need to and bring it back up. It's totally fine. And we'll take one more inhale here. And then on the exhale, releasing back down. And now with the right foot this time, we'll just start those the left foot. I'm really struggling today, you guys. I don't know. Whichever foot you didn't do before, we'll move in and out using the heel toe. So working the feet and ankles and also into the hips. And then the next time we walk that, we'll lift up onto the ball of the foot and then drop the knee in and out. And I think I might be frozen. Okay, I think whatever little blip just happened has stopped, so I think we're good. And we're just letting the knee drop in and back out. And then releasing the heel back onto the floor and then walking back, feet about hip distance apart. And so sliding again slightly forward into the chair, maybe letting the feet come a little bit wider than the hips. We'll come into a half forward fold with option for our full forward fold. So inhaling to lengthen through the spine, and then as you exhale, bringing the forearms to the thighs and folding forward with a flat back. And I like to have the tips of my fingers touching, coming together. but any arm position that feels good for you is just fine. And we'll take a few breaths here, maybe noticing stretching and openness in the lower spine. And then if it feels okay in your back, you can feel free to round the spine forward and fold all the way down over the legs, letting the head hang, letting the arms hang down by the legs. And then gently walking yourself back up. Coming back to center. And so we'll take from here a little modified sun salutation that we've done before. So we'll begin with our palms together, resting in front of the heart. And as we inhale, we'll sweep the arms out and up above the head so the palms can meet above the head. And then as you exhale, swan diving forward into a half forward fold. Or a full forward fold if that feels okay. And we'll inhale, reverse swan diving. Palms meet back above the head. And then exhale, palms come back to the heart. So that's the flow. So we'll repeat that a few times, just moving along with your own breath. So inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, folding forward, diving down. Inhale, rising back up. Palms meet back up above the head, and then exhale back to where we started. And flowing right into the next one, inhaling up with the arms. Exhale, folding forward, either halfway or all the way. Sweeping the arms back up on the inhale, palms meet. And exhale, arms come back to heart center. And let's do this once more. Sweeping the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, coming back up. Palms meet. And then exhaling the arms back to your heart. And maybe taking just a couple of breaths here with the hands in front of the heart and taking in the benefits of the poses that we've done so far. And when you're ready, releasing the hands. So now I have another opportunity if we want to incorporate some standing postures with the support of the chair. So first, I'm going to demonstrate in the chair, and then I'll demonstrate out of the chair. So we'll move into our warrior two. So in the chair, we'll just turn the right foot out so that the knee and toes are pointing towards the right side. And then you can stay here if that feels like enough of a stretch in that front inner thigh. Or you can extend the left leg back behind you and the left toes are slightly turned in. So this is the legs position. And so I'll demonstrate out of the chair as well if you'd like to try that. See whichever feels better for you. So I'm going to come behind my chair with the hands gently resting on the back of the chair. And I'll just begin to widen my stance. So the right toes are pointing again towards the right side. The left toes are slightly turned in. And then using the support of the chair to help give you some stability, we'll just bend into that front leg. So you'll see it's the same position that we're in the chair, only we have, we happen to be standing. And so now we'll do a little arm flow. So if you're in the chair, you can have both arms extended. If you're standing, I recommend maybe continuing to hold on to the chair with your back arm and then extending the right front arm out in the front. So we'll inhale, rising the arm up above the head, and then exhale, bringing it back down halfway. And then if you'd like, you can also bend and straighten the knee if you're standing. So as you inhale, straightening the knee, and then exhale, sinking into that front leg. And if you're standing, we just want to make sure that the knee in that front leg doesn't extend past the toes. So if you find that's happening, you might want to widen your stance a little bit. And we'll do this once more, and then we'll hold in our warrior two with the right arm extended, looking out over the right fingertips. And then if you're in the chair, you can bring the left hand to your hip, and we'll flip the front palm and come into an extended warrior. So a slight back bend. And so if you're standing again, you might want to keep that right hand or the left hand on the chair. And just taking a few breaths here, feeling strong through the legs, open through the chest. And one more big inhale here. And exhale, releasing the arm and straightening the legs, stepping the feet back together. And then we'll come into that downward dog like we did before. And I'm just going to flip my chair around so you can see where I am. So standing behind the chair with the hands resting on the top, I'm just beginning to walk the feet backwards and stopping wherever feels like a comfortable distance for you. The legs are straight, but you can have a little bit of a micro bend or even a bigger bend, depending on how you're feeling. And then just relaxing into the arms and shoulders. And holding here for a few breaths. And if you're in the chair, we have the feet extended, feet flexed. Inhaling up with the arms, and then exhale, hinging forward, making that V shape with the body. And so if you're standing in your downward facing dog, beginning to walk the feet back up towards the chair. And slowly rising back to standing. And so I'm flipping my chair back so that we can do our warrior two on the opposite side now. So this time our left foot is going to be turned out. That's going to be our front foot. And the right foot behind, the toes are slightly turned in. Again, this is the same position whether you're sitting in the chair or standing. And then we'll sink down into that front knee. And then extending the left arm out in front. And so we'll do that same flow. So as we inhale, lifting the arm and maybe straightening the front leg. And then exhaling back down. And so if you're in the chair, you can have both arms extended, or if you're feeling particularly well balanced, you can keep the arms extended. And obviously, if you're sitting in the chair, we're not bending and straightening that front leg because it wouldn't work so well. And then we'll come into our warrior two and hold here. Again, checking and making sure that that front knee isn't bending way over the toes. Then we'll flip the front palm and come into our reverse warrior. So slight bend, arch in the back, open through the chest and strong through the legs. And breathing fully into the chest. And one more big inhale. And as you exhale, releasing the arm and then straightening the leg if you're standing, and using the chair to help you step back to the center. And then once again, we'll come into that down dog to stretch out after that pose. So standing behind the chair, or if you're sitting in the chair, extending the legs with the feet flexed. And then from standing, just starting to walk the feet back. And then when you found an appropriate distance from the chair for you, just relaxing, stretching out the arms and shoulders. And breathing into that space in the back side of your body. And then when you're ready, gently beginning to walk the feet back towards the chair. And slowly rolling back up. And then we'll come back to a seated position. So coming back around into the chair. And we'll come into a goddess pose. So walking the feet out, toes pointing out about 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. And now grabbing either opposite elbows or opposite forearms, whichever feels better. We'll just begin to circle the arms in one direction. And we're working out those shoulders. And then maybe back in the other direction. And then releasing the arms. And from here, we'll come into our extended side angle pose. So we'll start by bringing the right arm to the right leg. And then you can stay right here. You must probably remember the arm option. So the left arm can either come up towards the sky, maybe letting the gaze follow that hand. Or you can also bring the arm back and around, reaching towards that right hip. So sort of a bind. It just stretches out that shoulder even a little bit more. And then when you're ready, releasing the arm, coming back to center. And then we'll come down to the other side. So bringing the left forearm to left knee. And then finding what arm options feel good. Maybe bringing that arm back for the bind. And then when you're ready, releasing. Coming back up to seated and walking the feet back in. And we'll take some of those hip circles. So just shifting the weight from hip to hip, rotating the torso. Pretty much any way that feels good for you. And then back in the other direction. And then coming back to center. And so we've got time, I think, for a little abs here. We haven't, I don't think we've done that in a while. So we'll bring the hands behind the head. So you may interlace the fingers or just letting the hands rest on the head. And we'll take an inhale here. And then as you exhale, bringing the right knee up and bringing the left elbow towards the right knee. And then coming back to center and then switching sides. And we'll move back and forth. Using the muscles of the core to draw the knee and elbow towards each other. And you don't have to bring the leg too far. You don't have to bend too far. It's about that gentle core engagement. And we'll do once more each side. And then returning back to center and releasing the arms. And now grabbing on either to the chair or to your hips, we'll do some isolations of the rib cage. So just shifting the torso from side to side. So we're stretching the obliques and also engaging the core here. And we're trying to make it so only the rib cage and chest are moving. Thinking about engaging those muscles. And we'll do that a couple more times. And then back to center. And let's do a few cat and cow to loosen back up the spine. So inhaling here and then exhale, rounding the spine, sliding the hands forward. Inhaling, sliding the hands towards the body and arching the spine. And just moving back and forth on your own. And then when you're ready, returning back up to a neutral spine. This will move into our seated pigeon. So again, the options are to extend the right leg out on the floor in front of you and rolling onto the outer edge of the foot, opening your hip that way. Or if it's available and comfortable, picking up the foot and crossing it over the left leg. So whichever one feels better. And maybe taking some gentle movements, shifting the hips side to side, loosening up those areas that we've been stretching and working. And then returning to center with the arms either down by the sides or on the hips. We'll inhale to lengthen through the spine and then exhale, folding forward with a flat back just until you start to feel some sensation in that right hip. And taking a few breaths at that position. And then on your next inhale, rising back up. And then helping that foot back down onto the floor. And switching sides, so taking your option, either extending the leg and opening the hip by rolling out onto the outer edge of the left foot, or picking up the left foot, crossing it over the right knee. And then maybe taking a few moments to shift the hips back and forth. And then coming back to center, either letting the arms hang down by the sides or bringing them to the hips. Inhale, lengthening through the spine, and then exhale, hinging forward just until you feel that feeling of sensation in the left hip. And then holding here, seeing if we can breathe into that sensation. And then when you're ready, inhaling, rise back up to center and helping that leg back down to the floor. And so we'll do one more round of seated twists. So this time we'll shift so that our bodies are facing to the right side of the chair. And then we'll grab the back corners of the chair with our hands. And then using the hands just gently to guide ourselves into the twist to the right. And so again, thinking about a nice, strong, stable core and seeing what you can relax. And breathing into the twist, giving the internal organs a little massage. And then when you're ready, untwisting. And then we'll walk ourselves around to the other side. So walking so we're facing to the left in the chair and grabbing the back of the chair with the hands and gently pulling our bodies into the twist. So even though we're using the hands to help guide us into the twist, we don't want to be clenching the back of the chair or anything. It can all be very soft, very gentle. Just wringing out the spine at the end of our practice. And then when you're ready to unwind and come out of the twist, and walking yourself back to center, we'll just take a couple of relaxing breaths. So as you inhale, drawing the shoulders up and then contracting all the muscles of your face. And then as you exhale, releasing everything and sighing out through the mouth. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, contracting. And exhale, completely relaxing. And last time, inhaling to contract. And releasing everything on the exhale. And so we've come to the end of our physical practice. I have about a 10-minute mountain meditation for you today. So if you're able to stay, that's great. Or if you need to pop off, feel free to do that as well. If you are staying, this is, as I mentioned, a mountain meditation. So I would recommend sitting in an upright position. We can be relaxed, but we want to be still alert. So we'll take just a moment in this comfortable seat to once again ground and center ourselves. So once you've found that position, finding stillness here and maybe letting the eyes soften or close for this time of meditation. And allow yourself to just be with the breath, not trying to change anything. Noticing the touch points between your body and the chair and the ground beneath your feet. feeling totally supported. As we did at the beginning of our practice, maybe taking a moment to notice what sensations, either physical or emotional, are present, without trying to change anything or fight anything. Just lean into it, being present wherever you are. And as you sit, begin to visualize a majestic mountain. Maybe one that you've seen in person, or maybe in a picture, or maybe a totally new mountain that you create with your imagination. Maybe it's standing alone, maybe it's part of a mountain range. It could be snow-capped or maybe in a tropical location. Whatever your mountain is, it stands fixed, firm, stable. The mountain changes, of course, just like everything. But it changes more slowly in geologic time. Now imagine this strong and stable mountain becoming part of your body. Grounded, solid, and still. Letting your legs form the base of the mountain. Your arms and shoulders are the slopes, and your head is the peak of the mountain. Feel yourself becoming this mountain, centered, grounded, and present. Imagine yourself as this strong, stable mountain as the seasons flow one into the other. In the spring, the snow melts, the birds are singing, the animals have returned, wildflowers are sprouting and blooming. The mountain streams flow with the melted snow. And the spring moves into summer, bathed in light, quiet, solid, and majestic. Except for the very highest peaks, the snow is all gone. In autumn, see the mountains surrounded by golden warm light and brilliant color. And gradually, autumn gives way to winter. The mountain becomes inundated by fog, snow, and ice. Notice how the mountain remains still, quiet, and steady through every season, through the storms and clouds that cover the mountain and then blow away. These storms can arise suddenly and then they pass. Observe the mountain through the course of a day, beginning with the rosy hues of the dawn and the clear light of morning. moving into the deep golden light and shadows of the afternoon, watching as the day gives way to the rich colors of the sunset and finally to the dark night sky, filled with stars and galaxies, endless space across the vast heavens. See if you can sit like the mountain, still and grounded through the changes of weather, of time, of seasons, allowing day and night to come and go, accepting change rather than resisting it. Now, once again, beginning to picture the mountain as separate from your own body, but maintaining these qualities of the mountain, allowing the weather and the seasons of life to come and go, and feeling yourself being present, rooted, centered, and still, unmoved by the storms, the wind, cold, the rain, moments of darkness and light, joy and sorrow. Letting life continue to unfold around you. And when you're ready, gently beginning to expand your focus. Be noticing the sounds around you. Maybe beginning to make some gentle movements in your body, maybe wiggling the fingers and toes. Working your way up into slightly bigger movements, maybe taking a nice stretch of your arms. And then returning to where we began, with one hand on top of the other, resting over your heart. And taking just a moment here to send yourself a little bit of kindness and gratitude for taking this time for yourself today. And knowing that whatever season, whatever weather life will bring, we can all be the mountain, centered, resilient, and still. And I wish you a wonderful day. Namaste. Thank you.